Welcome back for our lesson. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope you're somewhere cozy in your house, like on your couch, or maybe you've got a special space set up where you like to do your work, like a desk or a table, or maybe even in your bed or on the floor. I'm actually in my basement downstairs. I'll have to give you a tour sometime, maybe on YouTube, but my basement's super messy, so I will have to clean up a little bit before I show it to you. I've got boxes everywhere, and my husband has a chair right in the middle of the basement because he's been playing video games. So first I'll have to ask him to help me clean, and then I could show you where I've been doing my work. Okay, so our learning target for the day, you can read with me if you can see it. I can use and explain different methods for subtracting from multiples of 100 and numbers with 0 in the tens place. So we're still talking about these same kinds of numbers. We're still talking about those multiples of 100. And we're still talking about numbers with zeros in the tens place, because those are trickier ones to subtract from. Why is it trickier to subtract when there's a 0, like with these numbers? Why is it trickier to subtract when we have zeros here? Because sometimes we have to unbundle or borrow because we can't subtract from a 0. So that's why sometimes we need different methods. So today we are using and explaining. You can explain it to yourself. You can explain it to me on the video. You can explain it to me later in a dojo message. You can explain it to your dog or your fish, or explain it to somebody at your house that's willing to help you out a little bit. So we're going to use and explain different ways to subtract today. So we've used a couple of methods. Today we're going to use one that we've talked about before, and I think we did earlier. It's called compensation. I don't know if you remember that name of this strategy, but I think you'll recognize it when you see it. So I don't have any room to do any work on here, so I'm going to have to erase the learning target. But just remember, we're still subtracting with these kinds of numbers with zeros, but today we're going to use different methods, and then we're going to try and explain how we use them and why they worked. All right. I'm erasing. I'm getting ready. So our first problem of the day, I hope you have something you can write with. I went into school the other day. There was almost nobody there. There was just some people cleaning, and I went in to go get some of my markers. So I got a box with markers, my whiteboard, some erasers, just get some things that I could use to teach you guys from home. Because I'm at home too. I'm not at school either. All right, so let's try this problem today. We know we can use the vertical method. We're pretty great at the vertical method, but I already see there's going to be a problem. What kind of problem do you think we're going to have with the vertical method? Think about it. Is it going to be fast for us to use the vertical method for this problem? Let's just look. Will it be fast? 0 take away 9, 0 take away 5? It will not be fast. Why not? Because we're going to have to borrow, unbundle, unbundle. We're going to have to do it twice. So I'm thinking, you know what? Let's try a different one today, right? Let's just try a different one. It helps stretch our brains to try different strategies. So since I know this has so many zeros, it's going to make it difficult. What if I find a way to get rid of those zeros? Hang on, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I've got this, take away this, and we are looking for what's left. But this is a hard number to subtract from because of all the zeros. So instead, what if I just make this number a little bit easier to work with? What if I take away 1? Let's see what happens. I'm going to take away 1. So 300 take away 1. What would that give us? So really I shouldn't add 1 right on there, right? I should like put it in here maybe. I'm going to take away 1. That would give me 299. So if I take away 1 from him, what do I have to do to him? To be fair, it's like sharing, right? If I take away 1 cookie from Alana, I have to take away 1 cookie from Nadine, right? It's only fair. I wouldn't take your cookies away. Okay, so I'll take away 1 here too. Okay, 1. So if I do take away 1 from 159, what would I get? 158. So now I've taken away 1 from both of them, so now the difference is still the same. Now, let's look at our 2 numbers. Now, would it be quick to use the vertical method? Think about it. I think yes. Why do you think I'm saying yes, it would be quick? Because we're ready. We don't need to borrow. We can do 9 take away 8. We can do 9 take away 5. We can do 2 take away 1. All the top numbers are bigger than all the bottom numbers. 9 take away 8 is. 9 take away 5 is. 2 take away 1 is. 1. All right, so I've got an answer here. So this was called compensation. And compensation is the one that you're going to try and remember because it's like being fair or being the same. You have to do the same thing to both numbers just so it's fair. And then if you do the same thing to both of them, you can create a new problem that's maybe a little bit faster or easier to solve. And if I wanted to check this subtraction, how can we check our subtraction problems? We could use another strategy, or we could add. Let's just look right here. I'm just going to add in my head. I'm not even going to make a new problem. I'm just going to add in my head. 1 plus 8 equals 9. 4 plus 5 equals 9. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So I just checked really quick like that without even writing anything else. So now I don't need a calculator. I don't need to check with my partner. I feel good about that answer. Okay, I am going to give you another problem. And I'm going to leave this up here. I'm going to give you another problem. And I want you to try this compensation strategy where you do something fair. You do the same thing to both numbers to make it easier. So just like the other problem, it's got all these zeros. It's got lots of zeros, which makes it a little bit tough to do the vertical method. It also makes it a little tough to do the hundreds, tens, and ones because then we have to unbundle. We can do it, right? But if we're trying this compensation method, try that. Try and draw 2 pieces of tape here. What could you do to make this number a little bit easier to work with so it doesn't have all these zeros? And whatever you decide to do to him, make sure you do to his friend too, or he'll be mad, okay? So you can pause right here and try and draw this diagram, and then come back and push play when you're ready. Okay, are you ready? What did you guys decide to do to your pieces of tape? 400, 278. Well, just like the one before it, we could take away 1. We could also add 1, but if I add 1, what would I get? I would get 401. Take away 278. Is that going to help me be ready to subtract? I'm still not ready because I still can't do 1 take away 8, and I still can't do 0 take away 7. So you could think, oh, let me try and add 1, but then when you do it, I didn't like that. All right, so maybe you took away 1, and if you took away 1, I love it. Take away 1. If we take away 1 from 400, what do we get? 399. We take away 1 from 278. Just take away 1 from the ones. We get. Now we've been fair. So the difference will be the same as if this problem's difference. Now we can subtract. Let's see. We can subtract 9 take away 7, no problem. 9 take away 7 again. 3 take away 2. Go for it. Tell me what you get. I almost had no space, but I got 122. Did you get 122 as well? And if you did something different and you still got 122, I would love to hear about it. I am going to leave you with another problem. Let me erase. This number has a 0 in the tens place, but it's not a multiple of 100 because it has the 5 ones. So I'm going to give you this one. And I'm going to give you one more. Okay. You can use, sorry, that 2 is crazy, but it's a 2. You can use the compensation strategy that we talked about, compensation, where you draw the 2 pieces of tape and then you either add some to them or you take away some. Okay, you can add or take away on the bars, but you have to do the same thing to both of them. So you could try the compensation method if you'd like. You could also try the arrow way, a number line. So really what I'm trying to ask you to do in this lesson is there's 2 strategies we're trying not to use right now. We're going to try not to use vertical. So I'll put a little no here. A no chart. No vertical. And no hundreds, tens, and ones. Which we can use them. They do work. We know how to use them. But why are we not using them right now with these specific problems that have the zeros? Because they are a lot of work with all of the unbundling and borrowing we have to do. So we're trying to find faster, more efficient strategies that would help us subtract without having to do all of those unbundling. So I'm leaving you these 2 problems to try on your own. When you're finished with them, you could ask an adult to check them for you. You could check them on a calculator. You can check, maybe your big brother or sister wants to do it with you. You could check with them. Or you can send me a text on Joe Dojo with your answer and I will check in with you and let you know about your answers. And I would love to see what strategies you guys are using. So the last thing today, part of our learning target for today was about explaining these subtraction strategies too. So like I said, you can explain it to your fish. You can explain it to your toy. Explain it to your teddy. Explain it to, pause my video and pretend I'm sitting here listening. You can explain it to me. I would love to hear it. So I want to know, what simplifying strategies do you prefer? So how did you choose what subtraction strategies to use? Why do you like using those strategies? And how did you decide what to do when you looked at these problems? What were you thinking about? So go ahead and share those ideas with somebody or with me. And I will see you guys again soon for our next lesson. Love you, bye.